Hello, my name is Sadie, and all I want to do at the moment is talk to you about my experience with this individual, because I truly believe that she is mentally disturbed and I just need to get this off my chest. HoneyMoonDew, also known as Naomi, was a former friend of mine. She went to the same school as me. She was one of the quiet kids who was picked on a lot, and I didn't really talk to her that much. However, I found her account on Tumblr back in 2012, and because part of me felt bad for Naomi because of all the bullying she faced at school, we began to talk. Needless to say, we became friends rather quickly. We had a lot in common. We both liked drawing, music, and SpongeBob. Naomi was a huge fan of said show. She had watched every single episode that had been released at the time. She constantly drew fan art of the characters and she would always talk about the show with me. She was pretty much a SpongeBob superfan. She liked all of the characters, but she particularly liked the main character himself, SpongeBob. At first we got along great and talked about the things that we loved constantly. However, as the months went by, she slowly began to lose bits and pieces of her mind. It started slowly. She would start to talk to me about how she would visit the SpongeBob universe someday. Whenever I would tell her that it wasn't possible because the SpongeBob universe wasn't real, she wouldn't really say anything, but she would just simply scowl at me. It only got worse from there. As I just mentioned, Naomi's favorite SpongeBob character was the protagonist himself. The more obsessed she became with SpongeBob, the weirder she acted towards him. She would treat him as if he was her boyfriend, and would constantly talk about him and how they were meant for each other. She was talking about a fictional cartoon sponge, but she talked about him as if he was a real person. I thought this was a bit strange, but I didn't say anything, because I didn't want her to get angry with me. Besides, I thought that since it wasn't harming anyone, there was no reason to be concerned. I should have known better. The whole thing went from simply just having a fictional boyfriend to an almost creepy obsession. On her Tumblr, all she would talk about was SpongeBob, and the only character from the show that she would draw was, well, SpongeBob. I remember someone sending her a question on there asking her, "Can you draw literally any other character that isn't SpongeBob for once?" And Naomi responded with, "Am I not allowed to show my love for my boyfriend anymore, dipshit?" I was taken aback by this, because she was usually friendly and polite in her responses to questions. She would also have a complete freakout whenever she thought someone had a crush on SpongeBob. For example, I remember her posting yet another SpongeBob drawing, and a person commented on it, saying that SpongeBob looked cute. Naomi went completely apeshit on the person, telling them to F off, and that SpongeBob was hers. Her insane behavior wasn't just exclusive online. Naomi was good at sewing, and she had made her own custom SpongeBob plush. She brought it to school one day, and when one of our classmates walked up to her desk and complimented her, saying that her plushie looked nice, she merely glared at him before saying, "SpongeBob is not a plushie. He is real. He came from the SpongeBob universe, and he has come to stay with me because he loves me. And mark my words, if you lay a single finger on him, I will kill you. You understand?" The guy didn't really take her all too seriously and just left before proceeding to walk away. She sighed and began to mutter something under her breath, but I couldn't really hear exactly what she was saying. I was beyond creeped out at this point and I wanted to end the friendship, but on the other hand, Naomi was my only friend at the time, and I didn't want to lose her, so I kept being her friend. But not for long. A few weeks later, I was sitting in my room listening to music on my phone. It was around 11 p.m. Suddenly, I got a text message from Naomi. Curious as to why she was texting me this late, I opened the text. I wish I hadn't. In the text, Naomi claimed that she did something wonderful for SpongeBob, which was pretty standard for her at this point. However, the image was what made the whole thing horrific. The image attached below the text was an image of her mom. Dead. No joke. It was a literal image of her mom lying on the ground. Dead. She had multiple stab wounds all over her body. It was horrifying. Naomi followed the disturbing image up with another text, claiming that SpongeBob told her to kill her mom, and that by doing so she could go to the SpongeBob universe and be with him forever. I responded, asking what the F was wrong with her. And her response? Nothing is wrong with me. At this point, I snapped. This was the final straw. I called the police and told them about Naomi and her location. I already knew it because I had been to her house multiple times. The cops did come to her house and arrested her. She was charged with second-degree murder and was sentenced to life in prison. That was over 13 years ago. I was 13 years old back then. I am 26 now, and I work at a local bookstore in my area. I have a boyfriend, and I would say that everything is going pretty good now. As for Naomi, I don't know what happened to her after she got arrested and sentenced to life, but that's probably for the best. And as for her family, I am sending all my love and support to them. They didn't deserve any of this. They truly didn't. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, because there are more chilling tales to be told. Also, check out my other social media profiles. The links for those are down in the description. Thanks for listening.